Welcome, everybody. My name is Red Baron. Thank you for joining us on the show today. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a recap on what's been going on here in the market. We're going to cover some of the calls we made last Thursday with woo-woo guest Veronica Jane. Give me just a minute here. I'm going to notify social media, same as I always do. We're going to kill the mic here for just a couple minutes. You guys that are just joining me on live stream, just hang tight. Go ahead, let me know you're in here, and I will be back with you in 2 and 2. Those of you guys who are just joining us on the rebroadcast, go ahead and fast forward a little bit. You're not missing anything. And we will be back on here in just a minute. So hang tight. I'm going to kill my mic, and I will be back in about a couple seconds. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for joining. We always have to do that little radio silence. Gotta let social media world know that I'm out there because I'm such a lonely, lonely guy. I gotta let everybody know that I exist in the world. So thank you very much for enduring that. My name is Red Baron. For you guys that are new on the show, thank you very much for taking the first time to discover us. I hope to do you justice here and earn the time that you've spent here with me. I am from FibbyCharts.com, an automated intelligence predictive programming website that uses AI to predict the crypto pricing future. It's quite unlike anything you've ever seen on YouTube before, and we'll get to that here in just a second. So if you guys are looking for a home to find with some traders that really don't want to spam you and don't want to, a bunch of trash talk and stuff like that, if you're looking for a group to get into, we'd love to have you join us over at the Unfair Advantage, theunfairadvantage.chat. If you click that, that's our Discord. And basically, all you do is you're going to get an invite there. Just click on that, an invite from Red Baron. That would be yours truly. Click on that, and then go on through, and then we'll go ahead and wave you on in, and there's no charge for that. And then, of course, obviously, if you'd like to get into our VIP programs, featuring my calls and all the more inside stuff that we do, you can do that, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. Let me kill my mic for a second. I'm just having some real vocal problems today, guys. As you can hear by my voice, I've been talking all day, just nonstop yesterday. So I did a seminar last night, so I did an 8-hour seminar just talking nonstop for 8 hours. So my voice is just absolutely trashed. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, every once in a while I have to kind of cut the mic here just a little bit. I don't want to clear my mic or clear my voice in the mic here. That's a little irritating to listen to. I apologize. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some stuff here while I wait for a few people to file in. We always like to kind of get a decent group going before we start talking about events and stuff. So how'd you guys enjoy the show with Veronica Jane? That's our second show, which is going to be a Thursday normal thing now. Veronica is our, for those of you who don't know, Veronica is our our new in-house team member, and she is a deep trance clairvoyant. That's a fancy way of saying extra next level psychic is what she is, and she's the real deal, gang. As you're going to see here on the show today, she's the real deal. I'm hoping, if I can get myself organized here, I'm hoping later on to put together a greatest hits video to kind of show you guys the calls that she made that actually happened within hours. Let me show you one here. This is the one that just blows me away because she had no idea of knowing. I'm just killing a couple minutes here while I'm waiting for some people. She had no idea that this was coming, and it was just something that I was kind of prompted to ask on. See if I can find it here real quick. I mentioned she was just doing some world calls, and I said, anything going on in India? And she said, well, India didn't have any news in the cycle at the time, and she had one thing that she got, and she said, well, I see a building. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me see if I can get into the right proper. I'm going through my I meant to have this queued up before I got on mic, but hang on just a second. I'm just waiting for people to come in here. I'm just killing time. So. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So she talked about world events. She talked about what was going on out there with volcanoes and whatnot. And I said, "Do you see anything for? Do you see anything out there for India?" And I'm sorry, I don't have the news clip that I thought I was going to have here for whatever reason. I thought it was going to be in my chat. If anybody has that, please post the link to it. Horseleg posted this. Horseleg is one of our members. Anyway, she said, "Do you see anything for India?" And she said, "Well, I see a building kind of tumbling down a hill." I thought, well, that's kind of odd. And she said, "Well, it might stand for housing going down or something like that." No, literally, she literally hit a building falling down a hill within like 6 or 7 hours. And that led the news cycle out of India. I mean, clear as a bell. It's there's no ambiguity about that, and just absolutely incredible. So this is the level of talent this woman has, and so we're quite privileged to have her on our team and be able to do this every Thursday with her. And so we'll go over a few calls that she did, and we'll take a look at some of her results that just played out within hours, some of her market calls and some of her world event calls. So without any ado, thank you very much for joining us, guys. I'm just kind of stammering here a little bit. My voice is really killing me here. I'm burning the candles at both ends here, just as normal. It's just me. So we'll go ahead and let's take a look and see what's going on in the market. So you guys are kind of probably to kind of go back and recap for everybody who's new on the show. Both Veronica and me using different methodologies. I use automated intelligence, statistical analysis built into our charts, and that's what you're looking at here. You're looking at our AI-powered charts that you can subscribe to at fibbycharts.com, and this is what we use to predict. And then Veronica comes along and brings a whole new, what we call a woo-woo element to everything, and she makes her calls, I make my calls, and we come into a consensus, and if we're both dialed in, then we like it. So this is the first of her calls. So if you guys recall on the show, we were down here. She had made a call that we were going to be going up on Dent. I have our statistical analysis says that ultimately we are going down. Now, I do want to address this. This is Dent, by the way, so in case you guys are following, this is a one-day chart. I do want to address this one because this is very telling of the entire market. Let me back up and tell the whole story of Dent here, where I came in. So I had never been trading Dent. We had a diamond member that subscribed and paid in Dent, and he did that right here. And so I pulled up the chart. I'd seen this massive blast off, and I said, I plugged it into our charts, and I ran Anubis, which is our AI program, and I said, well, I think it's going to probably go to about right here. So I made the call. I told all my members, hey, guys, you might want to join this thing and get in on it. So from here to here, I got our members roughly about 200 now. Let's say roughly about 210%. Not too shabby. Now, I also said now my first I have a little bit of a woo element myself, but I don't I'm certainly nowhere on Veronica's level. But when I first took a look at this, my intuition said basically what we're going to be seeing is we're going to be seeing down cycles to kind of show this again. And we're going to be getting. That was my first impression of this, and that's kind of called a gestalt is what they use. In remote viewing, that's what they refer to as a gestalt. So my gestalt on this was basically we're going to see a run-up of 50% and then a pullback and then possibly a third wave at half that. So let me point something out to you guys. So we indeed had our first run-up, our second run-up to 50%, and then down again. So here we are running up again. But interestingly, look where we're at, right at 50% again. Just exactly like I said. And this was months ago that I said this. So let me show you something here. And some of you guys that are panicking, wanting to get in on Dent, don't worry. This story is yet to be completely finalized. Party's not over yet. The investment possibilities are not over yet. Let me show you what I seen this morning when I was looking at the charts. I'm not dissuaded at all. So her call was right here. Ping. Nailed it perfectly. Beautiful. That's what you're talking about. So the question we asked her is, what is the high for the week? Hit it. Hit it and then some. So there you go. Now, this is the channel that we had on this. We didn't violate the channel. So we're inside of my channel making her call. And so right here is where we're at. We tested outside, pinged off of one of my markers, came back down again. So here's where we're at with this. Generally speaking, we are at the 50% point of this wave. This is that second wave run-up. So what I'm expecting to have happen, is we're probably going to stay with inside of this and come down and finally bring close to that. And then, and only then, are we going to be off to the races. And that's going to be around about the third week of October, like we both have said. So we've got that window that we've talked about. I'm going to kind of back up a little bit for you guys that are new on live stream. We've both called around about the third week of October to be blast off time for the entire market. So as I've been patiently telling people, are we there yet? Is it taking off yet? Is it taking off yet? No. And to go back and recap what I've said about this, I don't like these run-ups that happen right now. This here, I expect it. I see it. I know it for what it is. But this by no means, make no mistake about it, I am not calling this the start of a run. It's not. It's not in my mind. Because it's inside of a channel, first of all, and it'll follow the channel. It'll start to go back down because that's what channels do. But as I said on the last broadcast that I did, you're looking at a situation where we are just too soon. If we're in agreement that the third week of October is when blast off is, we are 19 days away from that. We cannot have blast off now and more blast off later. The markets just never work that way. You know this. If you've been involved in crypto for any length of time, you know 19 days of straight anything just rarely ever happens. But I mean, in markets like this and times like this, not likely. Oh, hey Ted, how you doing? I haven't seen you in our group for a while. I'm seeing one of our members that's been with us. He must be busy. Yeah, buddy, my voice is just destroyed. I don't need to lose my voice again. I got my stuff you suggested to me with me here. I just didn't get it while I'm on camera, but I'm doing okay. So I'll get that taken care of when I get off mic. So, but anyway, back to the point here. So I don't want to see a run from here because it would deeply concern me. It's starting to concern me right now that we're having any kind of run up. We're going to take a look at some of the key market leading indicators, which is Bitcoin, which is XRP, which is Doge, believe it or not, and a few of these others. And I'll make a case for you here on this live stream that we are not ready to take off just yet. In fact, we may have possibly capped out. We are at the magic day of the week, which is Sunday, and you guys know what happens on Sunday nights. Sunday night American time. It's 2 p.m. Central Time here in Chicagoland. Here in about 5-6 more hours, China's going to wake up, and then they're going to have their say about this. And I'm telling you right now, nothing about this feels bullish to me. They're going to take all the profits off the table, and they're going to drop this thing right into the trash. So be aware of that. So I don't give market advice on this. I don't give investment advice. That's not what we do here on this channel. We simply show you what's going on. You make your own decisions. So we sell big boy pants here, big boy and big girl pants here. You can put those on and take care of your own financial outlook. You wear your big boy pants and you make your own decisions. That's the way we do things here. So don't blame other people for your own bad ideas, your own bad moves. So I'm willing to show you what's going on, tell you my opinion, but I do not give financial advice. I want to be very, very clear about that because these markets are weird. I have a pretty good idea where it's going. I know where I'm going to put my money, and a lot of my subscribers and a lot of my followers do the same thing. But we're all under the same agreement that shit happens. So that's just kind of the welcome to investing. If it were easy, everybody would be doing it. So anyway, Dent, this is case number 1. So we have a hit for Veronica. So just boom, knocked her out of the park. Just fantastic as always with her. Okay, so here's Bitcoin. We're looking at a 1-day chart on Bitcoin. I told you that we're going to get, and this is very, very typical. I mean, this is following the rules the way it should. So the overall call is still down. Let me zoom out a little bit here and show you. So I'm quite clear, and these are, if you're a subscriber to the Unfair Advantage over at FibbyCharts.com, you can see I notate my charts once in a while, and I just tell you guys straight up, I see nothing bullish until we get to 52.4. This is, it's going up. Great. It's going up. Compared to what? It's not really making that big of a move. I mean, this is a blip in the larger sense of stuff. So what we've got is we've got a descending triangle. We get a 70% breakout. That's exactly what you would expect to have happen. So Veronica again called this one, and she said we would be for the week. We were down here. We would be getting a run up, and I believe she called 48 if I'm not mistaken here. I got to go back and listen to that video and get the exact things. But my channel was right here, and we've hit the top of the channel exactly. Not a little bit, not kinda, exactly to the pixel, and that's what we're talking about. That's a degree of certainty that you want to get in investing. It doesn't get any easier than that. We call it paint by numbers. So Bitcoin's not looking like it's going to bust out yet. Now it is making a bullish formation, but don't be suckered into it because we've seen this many times. Classically speaking, it should probably go to that AI line right there. But I'm not really a buyer at this point in time. I'm not really a believer. I'm not really a buyer because there's no reason to believe that should be going up just yet. We're not seeing a lot of strength in it. Our market indicators are starting to roll down. This may look bullish, but I'm telling you it's not. All right. So this, by the way, is Platinum Pro. This is our ultimate level. We're going to be making some additions to this. This is our ultimate level subscription and features over 100 different charts on over 500 charts on 100 different coins. Top leading coins, and so basically we're going to be making some additions to this. It gives you live market updates and prices and tells you, it's called heads up display. We're going to be adding that this week and stuff like that. So if you guys want to have a trading platform where you can basically go get the quick information, make the quick decisions, stuff like that, you can definitely do that by joining us at FibbyCharts.com, going right here to subscribe. Hit subscribe now, or if you want to know a little bit more about the packages, you can go here. And it's just super simple. Once you do that, you get an automatic come on into the unfairadvantage.chat and get yourself a support group that'll help you make decent trades. All right, so what we're looking at here for Bitcoin, let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. I'm going to take a look at the 1 hour on Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is, we always kind of like to log, I don't consider Ethereum a market indicator because Ethereum's kind of a different discussion all the way around. We're not seeing an awful lot that really shows me anything. You could classically, some of you guys who understand my methodology could classically look at that and understand this is doing something that we refer to as a sleeper. Sleepers wake up running and they can kind of go up. And what we always see is a hiccup in the middle, but this is a 1-day chart, so I wouldn't necessarily believe that this is going to do much. But if it does come up, I would say we might get a little bit of a run in the rest of the day to possibly right there. But I am still waiting for the whole entire market to go down a little bit more. So I just wanted to hit that one real quick. So here's the number one we want to pay attention to. Boy, this thing's starting to tease us. It's teasing us bad, isn't it? So market indicators are showing that we want to go up a little bit more. So we've got a little bit more juice left in the tank. And it's very possible that we could possibly see a little bit more of a run up, probably to about $1.10. Well, we're at about $1.08 right now, to about $1.10 easily. I don't see it going above $1.10 for right now, for the rest of the night. I do want to back out and show you this. This is what you cannot count on, but I want to make you aware of it. Let me get rid of all this out of here. All right. So if we were to look at this on a upward trend, I mean, it's a beautiful upward trend, but I'm telling you, I feel like this is going to break. We've got a move, what we call an opening move right here. And it's very, very possible when I make a move, this is gonna throw all that junk back on. But we've got this right here. So if we take this, there's two things that can happen with this. This opening move has to be closed somewhere. We could close it up, which would be fantastic. That would put us up there in the buck 18, buck 20 range. Not quite feeling like that's going to happen. I'm not quite feeling like that's going to happen just yet. They could give us a little bit of false hope, and this is what's likely to happen because it happens so much. This is a TA move, technical analysis move. Most guys who understand technical analysis would look at this and consider this an extended channel off of a bull flag and say, okay, well, of course, this is the move that's going to happen. This is what we're going to get. But what we're noticing, or what I've noticed recently, is we get what's called a 50% move. So they show us something, and then they take it away from us before it plays out. And you'll notice that plays out right on this automated intelligence line right here. So my guess, my hypothesis, my prediction is what we're going to see is we're going to see a test up to this, and then we're going to see a rejection, and then back down we go. And I would put strong odds on. XRP is not one that I advise that anyone swing trade. I mean, if you're in, God bless you. Hold on, man. Don't get rid of your XRP. This is a dangerous game to be playing because it's getting in and out of XRP is not a fun thing or an easy thing to do. However, if you are inclined to be that kind of a gambler and you want to swing trade XRP, why you would want to, I don't know. And you want to find an out point. There it is, right there. You're looking at about buck 15. You better get out. You better get out of the pool at a buck 15, because my prediction is they're going to run this to a buck 15 and they're going to reverse it and slam it down just to steal your hope one more time. So little brother XLM is doing fantastic. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands what my position is on this. XLM, lordy, look at that. XLM, as I've said many times, is going to outperform on the short term, is going to outperform XRP. And that's just a simple matter of percentage gains. It's not that XLM is going to be worth more. It's just that if you put $1 into XLM, you're going to get more back for your dollar spent out of XLM than XRP. And that makes sense for a lot of things because obviously it's easier to get into, get out of. You can get it, pretty much every major exchange has it. You can get it on Coinbase. You can set market buys, market sells. So why wouldn't it be an easier one to go up and down? And so as you're seeing this, XLM is doing exactly that. So I apologize I don't have my calls from Veronica on this, but again, we're moving upwards. I know she made a call on this thing. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at a very large bull formation. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to call this an Adam and Eve. We do have kind of a down and kind of a rounded. It could possibly be an Adam and Eve, but if it were, then we've seen it play out. And this again makes out exactly what I was saying. Let me back up and make some sense out of this to explain. I always like to kind of go back and reteach a little bit because some people have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. So an Adam and Eve is just a typical chart formation. So Adam being the V, Eve being the rounded cup. How we express the following out of an Adam and Eve or a cup and handle or any of those like a W formation is the rim of the cup. So let's assume this is a cup. The rim of the cup from the bottom to the edge is basically, this is your technical move, which is called velocity. This is the term that we give it. Velocity plays by basically parking it right, and then here we go again, parking it right on the edge of the theoretical cup. Now, as I told you, and let me go back and dial that in a little bit stronger. There we go. Okay. So we park that right on the edge of the cup, but I just told you that 50% moves are something that they're doing to us constantly, and look at this. 50% of that move, and they've stalled. What you should see in a classical run-up is this thing should just go boom, just no problem. But what we always seem to be getting lately, as of about the last 2 months or so, this is just a new thing they've just started springing on us, where they'll run us up 50%, run a little bit, and then they just don't give it to us. They just, and the reason for doing this, to go back and explain, the reason they do this is because they make money by doing this, because the guys that are front running the charts, and they meaning the exchanges, do this because any joker with YouTube and a couple of idiots' guides to charting can figure out what an Adam and Eve is, and well, the book says it's supposed to go up, and blah blah blah. And so they start throwing down their money and stuff, and so they take a position. The exchanges make money when you do that. So they show you what you think you know. They get you suckered in. They take your money. They get you locked into a position. They start you down. So they always get those guys that want to jump in a little bit and let the first 5% play out. So when it goes up a little bit, some people are a little more cautious. They're like, okay, I want to see this thing play out and make sure they're last minute buyers is what I'm saying. They'll jump in and go, oh, yeah, it looks good. So these guys will buy in. So you got guys that buy in right here, and then you get the guys that buy in right here, and then they ride the leverage people, the people that are wanting to long this thing. That's how they just hammer these guys. This is how you lose money. This is why we don't recommend ever doing leverage trading. It's a blood sport, and I don't want to see you guys do it. You can make a lot of money using these charts that I'm showing you safely. You be in charge of when you buy and sell. If you leverage, they hold all the keys. They hold your money. They hold the keys. They see the playbook. They know what you're doing. You're gambling against the casino that's looking over your shoulder. I mean, you might get lucky. We had a moderator. I'm sure he's still with us. We have a moderator that went from $750 to over $40,000 in profit using my charts, but he was leverage trading and he lost it all. I'm not going to name names, but he lost it all, and he didn't do it with my blessing. So he knows who he is, brother. I hope you're doing well. I don't want to see you lose. Don't want to see you lose everything because you're a good guy. I want to see you back here, and we'll get you back on the path. But let his story be a lesson for the rest of you. You win and you win and you win until you don't, and when you don't, you're going to lose it all. So I don't want. This is a unique time in history to just stack up just crap tons of money. So don't risk your opportunity. Play safe, but play smart. You know what I'm saying? Or play smart and play safe. So back to this. So what happens is they get these guys to take the commitment, and they run it up, and then they turn it. And so these guys are like, oh shit, and then so they sell. So they get you selling again, and they take it down, and then they take it somewhere else. And so every time they reverse something you think you understand, they get you to flow in and out. And every time you buy or sell, they're making money. They're making money on your losses. They're making money on your exchange fees. They're making money on your liquidation. So this is why we don't trust these long moves. And so I always, it's getting to the point now where when I see a move like this, I just start thinking this is where the money's made. So that, and this is where you get into the habit of thinking, well, okay, that's not much of a move. It's 7.5%. If I leveraged that 10x, man, my God, I could do so. You very well could. And this is where our moderator started playing. He was playing between the lines and stuff like that. But you're right until you're not right. And so make sure that if you're going to play this game, it's like playing in traffic. Sooner or later, you're going to get hit. You're going to get broadsided by a big old bus, and you don't want that. So what I'm telling you is this. If you want to be a swing trader, first, obviously, I'm much more of a invest for the long haul because we're at the bottom part. We're at the bearish part of a bullish market. So, the people that get suckered or are enamored with swing trading or with margin and leverage trading are people that are trying to find a shortcut. And they're the people that are trying to basically take the easy way to wealth. And I'm here to tell you, as a 35-year investor, I haven't found it. You got to work hard for your money. I mean, you can work smart. You can find some shortcuts once in a while, and that's what this is. But if you're looking to just reverse your fortunes and buy that lottery ticket at the gas station and all of a sudden buy your mansion because you made a $1 purchase at a gas station, I'm telling you right now that your odds are like getting struck by lightning every single time you go out, and it's just not something that's realistic, even in crypto. So what I'm saying to you is this: it's better to make anywhere from 5 to 15% on a trade. On a normal daily trade while we're waiting for these large ones, if that out of a small trade bag. Don't do it with your whole stack. And so if you lose a little here, do it over 3 or 4 different cryptos. Don't ever go all in on something like that. That's the only way that I would ever give you my blessing to do something like this. But as for me, I basically look for these dips. I buy the dips and I hold them, and I just keep buying them and holding and buying and holding because my sell points are way, way, way up here. So I'm not willing to let go of any of this stuff. If I buy XLM, good case in point is I told you guys anytime this is a swing coin. Anytime you see T-Fuel, I made my point here on this. Let's go ahead and jump down. Anytime you go down to like T-Fuel. If I can find it here. There we can go. All right, so T-Fuel I do consider to be a swing coin. Very, very few coins I consider to be swing coins. T-Fuel is one of them. Reason why is because you buy it right, you get stuck with it sooner or later. It'll turn around and it'll make a profit for you. It's pretty hard, as I see it, to lose money. Now, I told you guys that, you know, when we go down here, I told you over in this area, when we go down to, I believe it was 25, yeah, we were in this neighborhood here, and we were kind of like this. And I said, hey, if it goes down to 25, buy it. Anything below, anything at, on, or around 25 is a safe buy. And so we went down here, and so some of you guys bought. And look what you can make just by buying without leverage. That's 21%, guys. 21% in the matter of just a couple of days. Less than a week, less than half a week. You can make 20, 25% sometimes in moves like this with T-Fuel over and over and over again. You can do this with Bancor. You can do this with T-Fuel. Used to be able to do it with Doge, but Doge has kind of calmed down a little bit, so where Doge is really not on our swing trade list anymore. But this is the kind of trade you should be doing if you want to kind of do that wild and woolly stuff. Yeah, you buy pizza at the gas station? I do too, man. I'm on a diet right now. I'll tell you what. I kind of get on a different topic here for just a second. I saw that in my chat. It just made me giggle. I got to kind of say something. So some of you guys don't know, my voice doesn't belie my size. I'm 6'10", and I weigh 200. At my biggest, I lost a lot of weight. At my biggest, I weigh 305 pounds. I don't anymore. I weigh 250. At my best, when I'm looking my sexiest, which is not right now, I am 220 pounds. So I'm 30 pounds overweight, and I'm mortified. My arthritis is getting really bad, and I live at the gas station because I'm a bachelor and I eat pizza all the time. So that's what caused me to notice this comment in the comment box. But I'm on a juice diet right now, and it's killing me. So I'm on day one of a juice diet, and I've already lost like 2 pounds in one day. I can do that because of my size. So I'm hopefully, my birthday party, I'm going to bring this into the conversation. My birthday party is going down in Georgia, and you guys would love to have a meetup with us. We're going to be having a combination meetup and birthday party for me on October 30th down in Georgia. So if you'd like to know more about that and meet me in person for the first time and say, oh my God, I didn't think you looked like that. If you'd like to join, that's not what I pictured. So if you guys would like to see me or meet me and meet the crew, we're going to be in Georgia on October 30th. If you'd like to know more about that, join us at the unfairadvantage.chat. And there's a special room in there where you can go ahead and RSVP and get in on the party. So we're going to have a good time. It's going to be, I believe, Friday and Saturday. It's going to be kind of a 2.5, 3-day event. Maybe we'll just go down, hang out, stuff like that, and talk a little crypto, tell a few stories, and have a good time. So the pizza at the gas station thing made me laugh. So hopefully you'll be seeing me lean and mean. I'll be down at about my fighting weight, down at 220 pounds here by the time my birthday rolls around, because I'm turning 54 years old, man. It's killing me. It's just killing me. So I got to laugh, because if I croak, we're all screwed, right? All right, so let's get back to crypto. Thank you very much for that comment, by the way. It just made me kind of laugh. All right, so anybody in XDC, I'll tell you what, this one holds a great deal of fascination for me, because it's just not, it's the Rodney Dangerfield of crypto right now. It just ain't getting no respect. And that gives us a wonderful opportunity to get in. And this is what we refer to as an X coin, because an X coin, all the X coins, we discussed this in the past, that these coins that start with X, not all of them, but these financial coins that start with X, they're money, baby. They're money. And, this is, we got XRP, we got XLM, which are starting to kind of show some of them. But this one's kind of a newer one to the group. And it just hasn't had it yet. It's just been going down and down and down. And, so scoop it up, man. Scoop it up. And so Anubis has got this thing called here lower. So I expect it probably here very, very soon. We're going to probably potentially be into the purple zone. Anywhere from about, let's call it 12 cents down to 10 cents. So anywhere in the 10 to 12 cent range. Could go lower. Very likely it will go lower. But if you get below this, don't hesitate, man. Don't step over dollars trying to save a few pennies. Right now is a very wonderful buying opportunity for XDC, because what's coming in the future is far, far more than 13 cents. But get a few discount pennies off of this, but if it comes down into the purple zone, I want you to really give some serious consideration to buying in on this, because this is one. It's not an easy one. You got to get a separate wallet. It's another one of those where you got to open up another wallet. You got to do all this stuff like that. But we've talked about this on shows before. It's if you do what other people won't do, you can have what other people won't have. These people are like, wait till it comes to Coinbase. Well, let me tell you what. By the time this thing comes to Coinbase, you ain't going to be paying 13 cents for it. I assure you of that. You ain't going to be paying 13 cents for it. And so you want to have to do that extra work. Look in those alleys, down those cracks and crevices and stuff to find these ones that are a little harder. Electronium would be a good example of that. Same deal. Electronium, you got to open up a goddamn wallet. You got to go to some weird exchange and stuff like that. You got to do the work. Got to put in the work. And so, but once you do, if you'll do what other people won't do, you'll have what other people won't have. And I'm talking about the money, baby, the cheddar, the squeeze, that choke wad. That's what you're talking about. You want something that's going to change your life when this world falls apart. Nothing makes it easier than money. Money makes the world go round. Don't ever let anybody tell you different. So. All right, so DigiByte was another one that we pulled up with Veronica, and she did a prediction on that one. And she called up on pretty most of these, and again, we hit it. So her short-term call for the week, I'm going to be very interested when Thursday rolls around to see, is she going to track with me on now a pullback? So I talk with her most every single day. So I'm not going to leak this stuff. We're going to try and keep her content on Thursdays. And so, by the way, while I'm on this topic with Veronica, we're rapidly growing a fan base because of Veronica. So I appreciate her joining our team. We do have a special right now, by the way. I wanted to make you guys aware of this. If you guys want to subscribe to Platinum Pro, if you guys want to upgrade to Platinum Pro, we do have something here. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. I hate to do commercials, but while I'm on this topic, if you go to subscribe, you go to subscribe now. This is something that I've cleared with Veronica, and this is something that you definitely want to get in on. If you are a serious trader, this is not for everybody. This is not a lottery ticket. So please, don't put all your rent money on this. I mean, let's try to get a grip on what we're doing here. But we have a special where we're promoting our newest platform, which is Platinum Pro. And in order to do that, we're going to give you 6 months access to Platinum Pro. All the analytical tools, all the AI tools, all the charts, 500 charts, and one special one-on-one time with Veronica Jane. So you can do that for that price right there. Just simply go there. And that gives you 6 months of access to our charts and stuff like that. Plus you get basically about 1 hour what's called a DTM, Deep Trance Meditation System. That's basically where she's basically taking your questions on health, on wealth, on family, on relationships, on whatever, and she goes out there into the woo-woo sphere and brings you back stuff that will just rip your skull cap off. I'm telling you what, the stuff this woman is capable of will blow your freaking mind. You've seen this stuff play out already one time. As you get to be fans of the show, as you get to subscribe and watching this, if you're well-heeled enough, or if you're at a level where this is not a burden for you, I would highly suggest that you jump in on this, because this is something we've never done and probably won't be doing ever again. So I want to give her a little bit of business just to be able to kind of, I'm going to go ahead and write the check to her out of this to pay for her services, and you'll have a one-on-one time with her where you can get those questions answered. If you got some crypto questions that you want to ask, if you say, what should I be investing in? Hey, is my portfolio safe? How much money, how's my life going to change? Where should I live? I mean, this country's falling apart. This world, I don't care where you're at in the world, by the way. Is it safe to live where I live? Should I be moving? I'm considering moving somewhere. Should I be doing this? How's my, I've got this pain in my stomach or whatever. What can I do to cure this? All these questions are something that's well within her wheelhouse of being able to ascertain and answer for. And you'd be absolutely amazed what she'll come up with. And so this is a one-on-one thing where basically, if you guys are familiar with Ramstein Regulin, his channel, you can hear her work over there. She's now kind of doing some stuff with me, but you can kind of listen to her past work where she's talked about world events and health events and stuff like that. And the jab, she speaks quite often on the jab, and she has a solution for it. And so if you guys have already taken the jab and now you're thinking, oh crap, what have I done to myself? This woman woman might actually have an answer for you to be able to survive that. So definitely worth your time. If you want to do that, take a look at this package. And of course, obviously, this is not the only thing we offer, but we are offering this right now for a limited time. And when she gets this thing filled up, basically, she's only got so much time in a day. So take advantage of this if it is something that meets your budget and you're interested in, because trust me, it is well worth the money. I'm sure you'll agree. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few other calls here. So I want to talk about VeChain. Let's talk about a few things here before I get too far off the mark. Let's go ahead and stack them up. Let's start by talking about XYO. So XYO, if you guys remember the show, she said she woke up one day and she said she saw XYO floating in front of her, and I believe we were right about here on the show, and she said it's going to go up, and sure enough, it did. Now, XYO is one that I've taken a couple positions on here. You can see my little notes to self here on this chart. I believe this thing is going to greatly accelerate here coming the third week of October. So we've got a small window of investment opportunity here. So right now we're working our way to the bottom of the channel. I don't think this one's going to quite go down as much as everything else is. But XYO is achievable. You can get it on Coinbase. This is an easy one. You don't have to have any weird wallets or anything like that. I believe this is an ERC20 coin. Not a fan of those, but you got to do what you got to do if you want to make money. If you want to get into XYO, you can do that on Coinbase. And again, we're not a fan of keeping coins on exchanges, but if you don't want to pay transfer fees and stuff like that for a short period of time, if you want to just get in, get out, and get gone, you can of course obviously buy it on Coinbase and just leave it there for a while, although that's not generally considered to be the best investment advice to be able to do something like that. You want to keep it on a private wallet, so in case you get hacked or whatever. And Coinbase has been hacked apparently, from what I understand. 6,000 people. I haven't heard how that washed out, so thankfully anybody in our viewership get affected by that. I read that in the morning when I woke up and I thought, oh crap, I'm probably on that list. So thankfully I wasn't, but if any of you guys are affected by that, I'd love to know the details. But they said 6,000 people on Coinbase were affected, compromised accounts. So case in point, any exchange can get hit. Any exchange. So you generally, as a way of doing business, you don't generally want to keep your stuff on the exchanges any longer than they demand that you do. But anyway, back to XYO is get it, and you can move it over on your Ledger Nano or something like that. Anywhere that holds, I believe you can keep it on MetaMask too. Anywhere that holds ERC20 coins should be able to hold an XYO coin. But this one's going to do very well. I kind of put this in the same family as VeChain. And it's basically has its roots in product delivery verification. Let's just say it simply that way. The world works on commerce, and this is kind of a commerce-related coin. Can be related to other things too, but I think it has its best killer app in commerce, in delivery verification. Let's just say that. And it has a unique way of doing it. Token-based, phone-based. It uses proximity-based algorithms that work through people's phones and stuff like that. So it's an amazing little project. It's in its early infancy, and I think it's going to do great things. Not going to surprise me to see this thing in the not too far-flung future, see this thing hit $10 easily. So if you're a long-term investor, this is one that really should be a part of your well-balanced breakfast. So as long as we're on delivery and package, here we go again, VeChain. So I'm not invalidating these down calls, not one little bit. These are these runs that are going up. Veronica said this is going to go up in this week, and sure enough, it did. This is basically foolishness to get everybody suckered into the market, and they're going to drop it down. Already did Dent, Simon. Go back to the first part of the show. We already talked about Dent. So VeChain is basically just forming a bowl. Or you could say that it's kind of pretty sloppy Adam and Eve there, but it's forming a bowl, rounded bottom. Let's just call it rounded bottom. That formation is basically still in a downward trend. As you can very easily see, we're still trending downward here. That's a very large channel, but you can still see we have the potential to go down, well down inside of this channel, which would be 30%, very doable by crypto standards. And I expect at least a 30% drop here before the next 20 some days play out. Before we get to the blast off point, that's going to be well within exactly what I expect. And again, we're seeing that same formation in theta. We're going to see that same thing, 30% drops. Going to get down into these blue marks. We've already got the box here. We're already sitting here waiting for it to happen. It will happen. We could very well find ourselves at about $4.50 according to Anubis. And I'm not going to be a buyer unless and until we see $4.50 because I firmly believe we're going to get to that here in the next 20 days. Oh my God. What? Exactly. Oh my God. To go back and tell the old story here, I put this on everybody's radar once in a while. So this is kind of my freebie information, or this is kind of my freebie commercial for what we do. If you guys are looking for somebody that really has your best interests at heart, you might be new to crypto, you don't want to subscribe to anything, that's cool. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. Join us at the unfairadvantage.chat, and I'll give this to you one more time, the unfairadvantage.chat. And here's why. Because once in a while we give away free calls. This is my free call project. I update and upgrade this stuff all the time. I have never charged anyone for this chart. Because when this thing was at about $3, by the way, take note of what the price is right now. When this thing was at about $3 to $3.50, I told you guys, I'm going to give you a free call. And I started to give the call, and the thing started making money. And I told you what the long-term call on this thing was for the year, and we're not there yet. I told you we're looking at about $20 to $25 by the end of the year. And some people went, oh, you're out of your mind. Well, I'm not looking so crazy right now, am I? So going from $3.50 to $16.37 already, I'm looking like I might know what I'm talking about. Would you agree? So this is all using our automated intelligence system. That's this grid that you see here. This is produced by our AI bot called ISIS, and every single time it moves, it moves, ping right off these lines. That's what these lines are. These are not Fibonacci lines. The green lines are Fibonacci lines. The bronze lines are an AI-based line that comes from our program called ISIS, and that's how we predict these moves up and these moves down using that plus TA. So you can see these things go up, they reject, they go down, they reject off this, they go up, they reject off the lines, and they play between these lines and do what we refer to as kind of paint by numbers. It's easy as investing gets. It really is. Once in a while you get a curveball by the exchanges just fiddling around with you, but it doesn't get any easier than this. It's nice to know where you potentially might go to, where you potentially might drop to, and you can do that by watching these bronze lines. So OMG is still rocking and rolling, guys. Now, we're on a pullback here, and I highly expect, to let you guys know, I highly expect that the pullback zone is reasonably going to be right about there. And I do that because we have some support and resistance right there. So that's just basic classic TA using the AI-based lines, and that's very believable. So the lines from here to here, you're looking at about a 19% drop, and there's a 26% drop. There's that roughly 30% drop that I'm expected for the market. So yeah, you can never, Denarian makes a point. Denarian's one of our moderators over at the unfairadvantage.chat. You can never go wrong taking a profit. So you guys that are holding, enduring this thing, that got in at $3, $3.50 on this, should you sell? If you're already up this far, this is what I would say. There's a couple different ways you can play this. It's kind of an interesting thing that he popped in on that. What I would say is if I were looking at this and I was a minnow, a small investor, and I jumped on this guy on YouTube's call and I said, well, I'm going to jump in on that $3.50 on OMG. And I did, and now I'm looking at $16.37. Should I be taking a profit? If I was a little guy, there's a lot to consider here. Yeah, it's tempting to look at that. I mean, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, you're looking at roughly, 6x, almost 7x. That's tempting. It's damn tempting. But we're not done yet. Year's not over yet. I mean, you can't go make a down payment on a Lamborghini with that kind of price. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Unless you have a hardcore need, don't cash in. Don't cash on something like this. Now, if this is not a swing trade, this is a long-term thing to put some money in your pocket to show you I know what I'm talking about. So wait it out. I'm telling you, $20 to $25 is coming by the end of the year. We're not that far to the end of the year. Can you hang on for 60 to 90 more days to practically almost double your money? I think that you probably can. So would I take profit? No. Now, there's another way of looking at this. you could say, all right, well, let's say, for example, I put $1,000 into this, and now you're up several thousand. You're up, $6,000 now on that call. Maybe you could look at it this way. Maybe you could take your capital out of this, and now it's all house money. Who gives a crap what it does? That might be a better way to look at this, because you could take your $1,000 and you could really feel good about that. Yes, you won't have the full maturation of profit, but again, if you're watching house money double, 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 double over the year, I mean, you can hold this thing. You don't have to sell it at the end of the year either. You can hold this thing for another year, a year after that, because I'm not done making predictions on this. It's going to go higher than $25. Every nickel, every penny, every fraction of a penny this thing goes up is just sweet, because it's all house money. If you take out that original money that you put in, not too bad. That original $3.25 or $3.50 you put in, not too bad. You can put that in something else, like a Dent when it goes down, and really get a kick-ass return on your money. And that's investing 101. That's how you're going to take a small nut and turn it into a small seed and turn it into a full-grown tree, money tree. So that, just a couple of thoughts on that. Just when they pop into my head, I got to get them out there for these guys, because some of these guys that are on these channels really don't know how to invest and stuff like that. So I just kind of like to impart a little bit of devil's advocate and a little bit of, there's more than one way to invest all the time. There's no right or wrong way, but you gotta. The only right way of investing is to do the right thing, is to not do stupid things. Don't get trade sickness and, oh my God, it's going down, I'm selling. Oh my God, it's going up, I'm going to buy. That's trade sickness, and you will. You will go broke. You will go broke. Moving every time the market moves, you've got to be able to develop intestinal fortitude to be able to watch these things go up and down. I mean, be happy with your position, or otherwise you're basically just going to go broke. Because that's the reason why these things go up and down, is because they want to sucker you into a move and then change the direction and change it, and then, oh crap, and you're in and out and you're in and out. And the only person that's getting rich is the exchanges, because you're getting feed every time you go in, every time you go out. So you don't want to do that. So let's talk about that one right there. Looking good. Looking good. So is this the moon? Is this the shot? Are we ready to go? So Veronica told us that this thing, she the way she describes this as being like, she kind of gets like metaphors. You could say like it's a little puppy that's very excited and jumping around. Well, that's definitely jumping around. You can't deny that. This is going to go up, guys. And so this one is definitely, there's no denying that this thing is on an upward tear. So do I see a hard pullback? Using my technical analysis, do I see a hard pullback coming? The best that I can tell you right now, we're going to check in with Veronica on Thursday. The best that I see your likelihood is probably right about there. So back into this channel. So I would not be surprised to be right in that zone right there this week. So that is basically... So currently we're at 5086. So top of this pullback zone, we're getting very close to that. Top of the pullback zone is 50851. Well, let's just do it this way. It's a little easier to read on right there. Top of the zone is probably right about there. Bottom of the zone is probably right about there. So that's your pullback window as I see it. Now, if we go a little bit deeper, and things start getting crazy, we get to that 30% drop, wouldn't surprise me to be right there. I don't know that I necessarily would risk trying to buy it cheaper than that. Now, again, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this. You can get it on Coinbase. Coinbase now has this. And I always like to bring up Coinbase because, it's pretty much the Model T of trade platforms, but I mean, it's the easiest. Some of you guys are a little freaked out by some of these weirder exchanges, and I get that. I'm not a fan of them either. It's you pay for convenience, you do. But don't use Coinbase. Use pro.coinbase. Pro.coinbase.com. Some of you guys are not even aware that there is two different platforms. There's Coinbase, which you're going to pay out the ass for. But if you go to pro.coinbase.com, spend a couple minutes, watch some YouTube videos, and learn how to trade on that, how to do a market order, how to do a limit order, stuff like that, you're going to pay lesser fees. And what a lot of you guys who are not real savvy about using Coinbase may not understand is your same password gets you into pro.coinbase.com that gets you into regular Coinbase. So be aware of that. But anytime you're buying and selling and stuff, you should always be using Coinbase or pro Coinbase, not Coinbase. It's just a matter of understanding how to do it. And just an afternoon watching a few YouTube videos will bring you up to speed on how to use the platform. So that's not necessary that we cover that here on this broadcast. All right. So anyway, Shiba, I keep calling it Shiba. You're looking at a pullback of probably anywhere from about 20 to 30%, same as the rest of the market. But I don't see this getting below the half point on this channel here. A possible wick will get us into this box, but really no lower. I just don't see anything catastrophic happening with that. Yeah, Flemish has got it right. Like I said earlier, I mean, this was, if you got in on it, this is a good point of what I was making, or this is a good example of what I was making earlier. I told you, you're going to have to get on those weird exchanges to really make the killer money. Because by the time they get onto Coinbase, I mean, right now, 50.86 sounds like just like a pittance, and it is for Shiba. But the guys that dug down and went into the weird exchanges, they're already 10x, 30x, 40x, whatever it is. I mean, some of them are already millionaires even at this sub price. So, if you get like XDC, you get into some of these weirder things and get on them before they get on Coinbase, there's still a lot of meat left on the bone. A lot of meat left on the bone. But, I mean, wouldn't you have liked to have got this 100 times cheaper than it is right now? I would say so. So that's the point Flemish Populous is making right now. Is you got to dig on those older or those weirder exchanges and stuff, and don't be afraid to do the homework and learn. You got to learn your trade. If this is going to be something that's going to support you, you got to learn your craft. My dad was always telling me that all the time. You got to be a master of your craft. I mean, you can't half-ass it. If you're truly approaching crypto to be life-changing for you, then you got to put in the time. There, if you want to learn the guitar, you can't just strum a few strings and get on stage. You got to spend the time to learn the chords and the notes and the structures and the tablature and stuff like that. I'm a guitar player. I do the same thing. If you're going to do that, you have to put in the time. There's no shortcut to being a guitar player. There's no shortcut to being an investor. There's no shortcut to being a track star. There's no shortcut to anything, to being a good father, to being a good mother, to being a good husband. Anything requires learning the skills and the time and testing and just taking your lumps. School of hard knocks. But you have to be able to, don't be afraid to jump out of your comfort zone. If it's easy to get, that means it's easy to get for everybody else, and you pay a convenience fee. So don't be afraid to venture onto some of these smaller exchanges and play with them with a small amount of money, because that's where the money's really at. So let's talk about Doge here a little bit. So Doge is lighting up a little bit, but again, we expect a bit of a pullback, so we still got that kind of weird formation there. But my call ultimately, you can see where, so this was the call that Veronica said Doge would be going up, and in fact it did. So we're looking at what should be a flag formation. I'm not a believer, guys. I'm just not. If it were, it would take it to right here, which is possible because we do have confluence right here, according to the TA. I'm not a believer. I do believe firmly we're going right there, unquestionably, in the next 20 days. If we do jump up, great, but I'm telling you, ultimately, we're going to end up down here in this box because we kind of have to. We're not... To go back again for you guys that are just joining me on live stream right now, we are expecting the third week of October to be the blast off point. All of my 21 group, all of the people that I'm associated with on a much higher level than my public group, are all of the mind that we're looking at the third week of October to be blast off time. Real, honest to God, blast off, life changing blast off time. We are too soon, too soon. And I've told this story probably a million times, but I'll hit around the edges on this one. Is we see parallels to this, or I'm worried about parallels to this when Elon Musk was going to go on Saturday Night Live, which is an American television show. Everybody was throwing just buckets of money, and he was doing all kinds of tweets about Doge, and everybody was so convinced that Doge was going to take off and do a moonshot when he takes the stage on Saturday Night Live on whatever date it was. I can't remember the date. And we had a big run-up about, I believe it was like 10 days, 12 days too early, something like that. I said, guys, that's too soon. We shouldn't be seeing this run-up. If we're expecting a run-up on the third week of October, then any run-up we have right now, by virtue of that, concerns me greatly. If it runs up to a ridiculous level, you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to drop like a rock. The higher it goes, the faster, harder it's going to drop. So I'm telling you this just to say I'm just setting myself up for a good old-fashioned I told you so. If you see any sort of hard run up, pick your favorite crypto. Any run up you see for the next, I'll give you about the next week. The next week, if you see any kind of a hard run up, I'm not going to give you advice, but here's what I'm going to tell you. If I were Joe Lunchbucket listening to this broadcast and trusting what this guy on the radio on the live stream is saying, I would be scraping off every damn bit of profit I could get my hands on, because it is a certainty in my mind that it's going to plummet. It's going to go boom with a big thunderous clap when it hits the bottom, and then it's going to turn. Now the bottom, if you're a moon cycle type person, a logistical domain can chime in on this. I just talked to him on the phone just moments before the live cast. Could you fill these folks expected? If you're the type of person that likes to believe in moon cycles, and the powers that be do, by the way, so don't go moon. Yeah, it has something to do with it. People actually trade according to moon cycles. In fact, there's even software built into this program that predicts moon cycles related to crypto prices. So it's a real thing. We're expecting I believe on the 20th is what he told me. Fill that in for me, will you, Domain? On the 20th is going to be a bottom cycle, moon cycle. So fits very well with what I'm telling you. So what I'm telling you is basically this. If you see any kind of a run-up right now this week, see it for what it is. It's not going to hold water, because to kind of take this to its nth degree, if you see a run-up right now, 3 weeks, we are not going to have, let's just look at this logically, we're not going to have a huge run-up now, good times hold over for 3 weeks, and then a blast off after that. We're not going to have good, get better, blast off. Doesn't ever work that way. So what we're going to see is we're going to see a fake cycle up, sucker everybody out, and then they're going to drop it like a rock, take everybody's money, and then it's going to creep along, and we're going to hit the 20th, and then the real deal is going to happen. That's the way I see it happening. And I've been telling you this stuff for weeks and weeks and months and months. Yeah, so new moon on the 6th and full moon on the 20th in a bull market. Full moons are associated with bottoms. So there you go. Look for a full moon. I'm not talking about somebody, I'm not going to say that. I'm on air. I don't want to say that. But we're not talking about somebody's bare butt. We're talking about the full moon. So if you believe what I say, watch what happens. So we'll run this past Veronica next Thursday and see what she has to say about it. But I already know she's going to be in complete agreement with me on that. All right, so Populous, and let's take a look at Matic. Let's take a look at Solana. We haven't talked about Solana for a while. And we definitely have to talk about Algorand. And we better talk about Electroneum. And this one's been kind of talking to me for a while. Loop Ring. We're not going to talk about that because I don't have that on my chart here. But I've been watching. Oh, so by the way, we have added XRPT persistence. We have added to Platinum Pro, by the way. Let's just go ahead and take a look at that real quick. I haven't been watching it just yet, but where are you at, dang it? What's going on here? My charts are... There we go. Okay, so we're going to look at the 1 hour. If you guys are wanting to jump in on persistence token, now let me tell you what I'm seeing immediately right off the top, of just using standard TA, let's make that one red because it's definitely red. There is a buying opportunity in the making here. Tell you what, sometimes TradingView just gives me absolute fits. It won't let me grab my, there we go, okay. Tell you what, I would take that as a wick down to about here. Let me go back and re-verify that. Yeah. All right. So it's highly, highly possible we could see persistence drop down to $5. I don't want to go dropping down actually as low as 476. I don't know that I would necessarily try to catch that right at the pixel at the bottom, but let's just say sub $5. Okay. Now, again, if we have to kind of concede that there's a 50% motion here and 50% puts it in confluence with this right here. So if you're looking for a sure thing, an absolute buy, you might want to consider a buy right here at about, let's call it $6.55 to keep it safe. So if you want a chance to buy in on this, you missed the big run up on persistence, which there's much, much more to go. You might want to do a safety buy at this, and you might want to do a little bit just to catch a wick down just in case it happens. But that's a pretty mighty drop, guys. That's a very hefty drop, 45%. Now, some of you guys are probably laughing, think, oh, there's no way in hell it's going to do a 45. Really? Really? You don't think so? Again, this is one of those coins that we just talked about twice. This coin is available on weird markets. Weird markets move much more violently in downtimes. So if everything on good markets is moving at 30, the smaller markets with less market cap, weirder, harder, less liquidity, they move faster, they move deeper, they move harder, they move more violently. Yes, 42 to 45% can happen with persistence because it's not on Coinbase, blah, blah, blah. So yes, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I've seen this happen over and over and over. So if you could find persistence, Gate.io would be a very good one to do that on. You might want to be watching for the opportunity to at least get it in there in about the 650, 655 range at best. Get it down there about $5. But I think all you guys who know what this coin is about to do would feel quite blessed to pay either one of those prices. So now this has become my favorite I told you so. this is the I told you so of the week. So Binance, let me go back and kind of give you the news. Some of you guys don't follow news. Crypto news can be rather boring. Binance delisted this, and the whole world went, "Oh my God, it sucks!" And everybody's like jumping off the boat and getting in the life rafts and running like hell. And I'm like, good, do it. See ya, bye, enjoy your cruise. And I said, buy it. And I told everybody it's going to hit this red line. And sure enough, we wicked down, hit the red line, and actually went a little bit deeper. Now, where we're at now is we finally hit equilibrium. So let me explain what you're looking at right here. This is now, there's a anomaly that happens, generally speaking. When something goes down, it's called the dead cat bounce. When something goes down, it bounces up. You can kind of, that's a pretty wicked dead cat bounce right there. But generally speaking, when you see something like this is what we term a sleeper. Now, that is a matter of let's just call it 3.5 days. Not long enough to be a classic sleeper. We have, it's probably going to go a little bit longer. But when this thing wakes up, we have we have tons of funny little sayings, but sleepers wake up running is what I've coined this phrase, and I've proven it again and again and again, getting outrageous returns. So I purposely go looking for these ones that this is what most people would term a consolidation. I really like to see this. This is exactly from a investing standpoint without using any kind of fancy tools. I mean, this thing has just been getting beat up, hit the bottom, bounced up. There's your dead cat bounce. And now we are at consolidation. This is when we're in agreement that it's not worth this. It's not worth this. Everybody's just waiting to see what's going on. This thing is setting itself up classically to explode, guys. So let me go back and explain again my stance on Binance. Binance is a big dog, no denying it. Binance dropped the news that they're not going to cover Populous, whatever, and they delisted it, and everybody went, oh shit, and they sold. That's what got us where we're at. But now we've got to the point where all the panic sellers have left the market, and all the opportunistic buyers haven't joined. So what's happening right now, as I see it, is this. We are waiting for someone to step into the vacuum and fill the liquidity, to fill the availability, to fill the accessibility for Populous. Yes, you can get it in the again, this is another place you got to go looking in these deep dark corners of the internet to find Populous. It's not available everywhere, but you got to do the work. If you get Populous, and then all of a sudden, I'm just going to theorize. I'm not suggesting this is going to happen. I've heard no news. I'm just saying. Let's say, for example, now Populous, there's nothing wrong with the company. As I've said this many times, this is a exchange issue. Populous is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the company. They're doing A-okay. It's just the people handling the exchange of it backwards and forward. are having a problem, and it's kind of getting the stink on the actual coin, but there's nothing wrong with the coin. So what I'm saying is, if Populous all of a sudden, so Binance gets out of the game, and so here we got a good coin with good fundamentals, good future, damn good future. I mean, this thing's been up as high as $90, guys. It's a 75-cent coin right now. Do you hear what I said? This was $90 and then some change. 75 cents right now. That's ridiculous. Now, I'm not suggesting it's going to go to 90 anytime soon, but I mean, we have history, so let's just concede on that. Let's assume that the Coinbase, who will buy every piece of dirt out there, decides, well, shit, let's throw that on the pile too. So they grab and they scoop up Populous. What do you think's going to happen? Excess profit breeds ruinous competition. Excess opportunity breeds advantage. And so I don't want to get into what that means, but basically, here's the thing. There's somebody's going to step into the void and offer this, and if it's not Coinbase, it might be Kraken. If it might be, I don't know, maybe this is available on Kraken, I don't know, but some big player is going to step up and is going to offer this thing, and when it does, everybody's going to come flooding back into the market. And here you are paying 75 cents or less, because we are going to get a pullback. When the whole market pulls back 25-30%, this is going to go lower with it. We're going to go probably to the bottom of that yellow box, if not more. So to the bottom of that yellow box, by the way, oh, what a coincidence, 25%. So do you think we're going to probably hit it? Because I do. We'll go into that yellow box. And when we go into that yellow box, I'm going to be unloading my cash on this thing, because I know what this is going to happen, because this bad boy swings. If it never goes to $90, I can make some fast money on this, because let me show you the profit that was made right there just in the matter of a couple of days. That was a 91% profit. You put $1 in, you damn near get $1 back in the matter of less than a month. Let's just say half a month's time. That's outrageously good. Some of these crypto people are spoiled. I don't want a 300%. I want a 500%. I mean, go tell your standard banker go tell your standard stockbroker you just made 90% in 15 days. I mean, he'll call you a liar, or he'll probably want you to teach him how you did it. But my point I'm making here is this: Populous is opportunity just sitting there, waiting. And so we've got an opportunity right now with the market's going to be depressed, the market's going to go down lower. We've got blast off for the whole market, and that does include Populous. I don't care who's listed Populous or not, it's going up. When everything else goes, rising tide raises all boats. What I'm telling you is Populous is going to go down into this yellow box, and when it does, you better be paying attention, and you better be there with bells on buying it, because when it turns around, I am not going to be surprised. I've said this many times before. I'm expecting the entire market to go up 5 to 8 to 10x. The entire market. That includes yours truly right here. So if you get in at 75, no, I'm not going to say 75 cents. Let's just say 50 cents, for example. If you get in at 50 cents, you're going to see 10x, possibly 10x out of this thing. And so there you go. That's sermon over on that. But this is definitely the one I've got my sights on, because this is a sucker bet. This is a darn good coin with a lot of potential in the future. So I'm definitely not going to let that one go, let that one slide. Neither am I going to let this one slide. So this one's doing that same weird formation. I do expect a downward move. We've got an awful lot of floor on this. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 tests on this. Let's get this out of here, because that was a conversation I had earlier. So when we drop, let's see where we would drop. Do you think the likelihood we would drop down here would be very good, to about $1 and some slight change, possibly a wick below? I do. So if we drop down here, there you go, 21, 22, 23% drop. So Matic to drop into that area is very, very conceivable. So if Matic can be bought on Coinbase again. I'm trying to show you the easy for you American buyers. I'm trying to show you the easy places to buy this stuff. Matic, you can go ahead right now today and go on Coinbase, take your money, put it on there, and say, okay, I want to do a buy, and set yourself up on pro.coinbase. Get yourself a market order right now today. If you believe what I have to say, you say, I want to do a market order, or I want to do, not a market order, I'm going to do an order for, let's just say $1.05 to be on the safe side, and just set it and forget it. And when it happens, you can go, thank you, Baron, you were right, again. So now when this thing turns around, it's going to go absolutely crazy. This is going to be part of the new financial institution, part of the new financial gearing that powers the world. Matic is definitely one you want to own. It's not an X coin, but it's kind of just that next level where if you own it, it's pretty hard to lose money in the future on Matic. So getting it at a buck, oh hell yeah, hell yeah. But then there's Solana, again, another one that's going to power the world. This thing is a beast, boys and girls. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. So I've been calling the moves all along, telling you where it's going, showing you the guidepost, and she just keeps performing. I mean, you cannot keep a good coin down. So, $175. Should we be buying this? Did the train pull out of the station? Well, I'll tell you what. This is a tough call because when the rest of the market goes down, this thing just it really takes a lot of jackhammering to get this thing knocked down. But again, we can go ahead and we can still apply the same understanding and structure to this. So I'll tell you, let's zoom in on this a little bit here. Let's try to be somewhat reasonable in the call in the short term. I'm speaking in the short term. So when this thing comes down, and it's highly likely it probably will, it's going to come down to where? Well, likely probably the top of this channel. So let me give you a couple of for instances. So we are having trouble breaking the dual AI line, which is the Fibonacci line and the automated intelligence line right here. We like those because we always know they're like magnets. When a coin makes a move, it moves up to it, and when a coin goes down, there's another one. It'll drop down to it. So again, there's my call right there. So let me back up and explain what I'm talking about. You got a dual AI line right here, which also is in confluence with one hell of a lot of support and resistance. So that being said, I would expect as if this thing loses steam and drops, it's probably going to drop right there, which is a matter of, drum roll please, 22%. So now, could we go lower? Yes, we can go lower. So if we go lower, where's the next possibility of dropping? The next possibility is going to be right on top of the channel, which is the next AI line down, which, again, drum roll please, is 27%. Well within the doability of crypto. Well within a large coin with good solid fundamentals. Probably is not going to drop 35-40%. It's probably going to drop more in the 20s. So I would definitely be a believer that this window right here is probably the last opportunity you're going to get Solana on a good price. And that's going to put you anywhere. Let me go ahead and show this because I know some of you guys are on cell phones. It's hard for you to see. So you're looking at probably about 138. Let's just call that 140 just to round the number up. From 140 to 129, we'll say. So last call, folks. Last call. And Solana again, Coinbase coin. Algo, another one. I'm really bringing out the heavy hitters here. Algo was one that I told you guys is like, what's he talking about Algo for? Well, let me tell you. This is why I'm talking about Algo. I've been telling you guys right here, I left that there to kind of make a point. When this thing was just basically just kind of meandering around, doing nothing, I saw this thing starting to gain steam, and I told my followers in VIP, which is gold level and platinum level, I said, you guys, right here, I took a position. You can see this arrow. I said, guys, I'm in. I'm pushing it all to the middle on this one. And within a matter of time, within a matter of a couple of minutes, a couple of hours, this thing took off. And so from my call to that, we did basically about 135%. Now, is the party over? Not in a million years. This thing is about ready to just absolutely go crazy. So you missed the boat here. You didn't get on my call because you weren't subscribed to our charts or whatever. Is there still any meat left on the bone? Yes. Emphatically, yes. So here's where we're at right now with this. We still have one more drop potential. Anubis put this in here. We got a 50% move. You can see this right here. We got 50% of that arrow, but Anubis has got this. So the potential, albeit remote, the potential to drop down to this yellow box is still there. So we're looking at the most outrageous drop case, we're looking at probably about 28%, which is, again, still possible. We could drop into the green zone. I wouldn't bank on it because Algo is starting to gain strength, that people are understanding what this thing is good for, and I don't see this thing going as low as most coins. But if you can get Algorand at let's call it $1.40 to $1.50, you better get while the getting's good, because the party's going to be over real fast. The bargain party's going to be over real fast. When this thing starts going, it's going to do what Solana's doing. Solana has shown us the way for Matic. It's shown us the way for Algo. It's shown us the way for XDC. All these big financial related infrastructure coins, we'll just call them infrastructure coins. All these infrastructure coins are going to do what Solana is doing, right? Now, ETN is, we refer to this as an Africa coin like Dent. There's a lot of things going on in Africa that you guys, I've talked a great deal about my travels to Africa and about what I've witnessed and seen, and about all the money that let's just call it the New World Order is throwing, World Economic Forum, same thing, is throwing at Africa right now. So anything that involves Africa and ETN, Electronium, Dent, and stuff like that, it's a sure bet you're going to make money, because that's where the money goes. Follow the money is what I'm trying to tell you. Electronium, as you can very clearly see, I told you guys, we're looking at Electronium waking up, and I've had Electronium on our list for a long time. It's just a whole lot of nothing, and right in this area I started to tell you guys it's time to start paying attention to Electronium, and sure enough, up we go. And this is another one of those micro fractions of a penny type things way back in the day that's now starting to get above, and now we're starting to get a little bit of respect. So this is, if you guys understand what Fiverr is, or micro job sites, that's what Electronium is. It's a micro job site type thing, kind of similar to Fiverr. You have to look up Fiverr to see what it is and to truly understand. But this is going to be a huge platform for people that just have no way to make money the conventional way, that are just off in the sticks, that need to find some way to feed their family. Electronium is the way to do that for these folks. This is bringing opportunity to very remote corners of the world that just wouldn't have it any other way. So let's just say that. You always hear about this banking the unbanked. Well, this is employing the unemployed. Same people. I would not be surprised to see this thing go 10x easily by the end of the year. Quite possibly even 15% or 15x. When this one goes, it's going to go substantially faster and higher than most of them. So is it still a good buy? Yeah, it is. But I'd like to see you in probably more here at this level. Right now, there's nothing to get. That's just a lot of numbers, so I'll just leave that right here. So your window, I'll just put it here to keep it out. Your window is probably down there at about the 0.17, 0.18, or 0.017, 0.018 range. But that's about it, guys. I wouldn't be holding out for much lower. But if it did happen to go that much lower, let me show you where you would be going. You'd be going down. Well, okay. You would have to basically give back all of its gains. And I don't think that this particular coin will do that. So I'm not really quite comfortable telling you that Electronium, because of what it is and where it is and what it's about to do, will go 35 on a drop. I'm more comfortable telling you that probably 13-14% drop would be a safety buy on this. You could do half of one, half of the other, but I'm really not very confident that I would tell you that this is going to drop more than 14%, unless we get a really hellacious crash across the market. All right, so here's one we haven't talked about for a long time. A couple others I want to talk about there too. So I've talked about Zill. Zill's just kind of one of those that, see, there's an example of a call that when I make these calls, you see them come in. They hit with regularity. Zill is kind of related to like e-commerce and stuff like that. So again, I don't consider it a blue chip, but it is definitely a very solid coin. Fundamentals on it are really good. Price is really good. But again, on a pullback, you're looking at probably down to the dual AI line. You're looking at about 16% drop, which is going to put you at 0.085. I'm revisiting this call arrow, by the way. This would be a very believable level to pull back. 0.085 would be my idea of probably where I think I'd probably do a safety buy on that. Now, could we go lower? Yes, we could go lower. If we go lower, we would be likely in a I always kind of like to call it an oh shit crash. But if we kind of go into an oh shit scenario, we're probably going to be right down here on this red line, or right in this general box right here. And that's going to put you at about 6 to 7 cents. I don't believe I would hold on for that inevitability. Much better to just kind of play it, because the closer we get to the third week of October, the less that you're going to want to be really putting yourself out there for those deep drops. You got to play it safe. That's the thing. You got to be. There's always, it's always fun to get one on a flash wick or something like that. But if your whole thing is predicated on buying these things at the ultimate bottoms, you're going to watch a lot of traffic pass you before you catch your train. So don't do that. Always consider the safe purchase as part of what you do, and then use a percentage of it on the possibility. I mean, I know it's fun to just push it all to center on the most fabulous wild hair price and get it. I've done that many times myself, but again, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. As the old saying goes, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. So you don't want to be on the wrong side of that transaction. So what I'm telling you is basically use your head and play the odds. That's what we do. Play the statistical probabilities. That's how you win these games. And so to get in at 8.5 is a very reasonable buy. Anything below that's just a blessing. But I think the probability that we'll do probably the next week and a half, do this price right here, is probably in the cards. Yeah, so let's talk about XTZ. That's been a long, and I have no reason to love this thing. I just do. It's not that it's the most profitable. It's not that it pays the highest staking. I've just been a believer in this thing since $2. We have an old joke. Excuse me. We have an old joke on the website, and we call $2 the kidney zone. I used to tell you guys that someday, this thing's going to happen, and I've been pushing this thing since $2. Just telling you, anytime this thing goes below $2, sell a kidney if you have to, but buy it. And I've been vindicated completely. This thing's done 400%, and then some. It's not that it's the most most fabulous coin out there, but it's a solid project, and it will do well. It will do well. It's doing well right now, as you can see. This is one that you can own in Exodus that pays about 5.6%. I have a junk amount of this. It's always fun that every time I get on XTC, I hear this little rattle of a change purse, paying me a little bit on my junk that I got still sitting in there from way back when. I traded out to load up on more XRP, but I've got a couple thousand of these things still sitting on Exodus. But now, should you get in now? Well, the higher you get in on these things, the less glory there is on the upside. So the best days are behind it, certainly. Really, would I recommend this? I don't believe I would at this point in time. If you're in, I certainly wouldn't suggest you sell. I certainly wouldn't suggest you sell, because we're looking at 3 figures on this thing when she starts to really hit where she has to hit. But 3 figures. You're telling me 3 figures, and it's $8.39 right now. And you're saying this is not a good buy? No, I'm not telling you it's a good buy, because there's other coins that are going to do far better than that. So I'm trying to keep perspective across the entire market. However, that being said, I don't consider this a blue chip. I consider it a very solid one, a light blue chip maybe. So I see Flemish is talking XTZ and Atom. Atom is one that I would suggest, because Atom pays a higher percentage of return. And last I looked, I believe that's 9.75 to this is 5.6. So, just use common sense. I mean, you want the thing that pays out. So you can literally buy Atom. Let's go ahead and look at Atom here real quick. I probably should have done that earlier. If you look at Atom, Atom has just been off to the races too. You're looking at, I tell you right now, candidly, there's a sale brewing here on this, and I'll show you right where it's at. We have some confluence right here. We have some support and resistance right there. So what I'm going to tell you is, when and if this thing dips, that's where you best be buying if you're involved in Atom. Now we have another one. We have a dual AI line right there, which we absolutely on a pullback will hit undeniably. So from here to here, very doable. Let's just call it 10%. But if we get into a much worse crash and we go all the way down to this next dual AI line, there we are again, that magic 33%, actually 32%. Atom can be had on Coinbase again. Now, what you could do, if you wanted to, you could do an order for, let's just call it an even $27. All right, You could do an order for $27 on pro.coinbase.com or whatever your favorite exchange is where you can get Atom. Move it over to wherever you want that pays out staking. I use Exodus, which may not be the best, but you could put Atom and just basically sit back and let your money make you, damn near 10%. 10%. You always hear these stories about people, they're living off their crypto profits, and I don't think a lot of you really understand what it is they're doing. This is what they're doing. Let's not get it twisted. A lot of these guys come in as like quite wealthy people or early crypto adopters or whatever, and they've got a crap ton of money. So you're not putting in $500 and living off your crypto profits. Let's not be unrealistic about this. Let's not be stupid about this. But what I'm suggesting to you, if you've got a 401k or something like that, which is not paying jack to begin with, let's be honest, and a hell of a lot more speculative to own a 401k in the market than it is to own something like Atom right now. If you were to take your 401k or whatever money, maybe you got a little inheritance money, maybe you sold some real estate. Please tell me you sold some real estate. You don't want to own real estate right now. Get out of that. And if you were to take those profits and put them into something, well, until you know what you want to do, you want to put it somewhere that makes you more than what you started with. This would be a case in point. You would buy something like Atom. Let's say, for example, you sold a little 2-bedroom bungalow in Wisconsin, and it used to be a rental for you, and you want to get out of that because rentals kind of suck, and they do. And let's say you're sitting on $50,000, and so you take that, you do what you talk to your tax man, and he gets you positioned. You take that, and you go, okay, well, I'm gonna go maybe I'll buy some Atom or Flamingo or something like that. And you buy Atom, and you get the coins on Coinbase, and you move it over to your Exodus wallet or whatever, and you just park it there. And then you just hit the button, just click, you stake it, and then you just leave it alone. And every time you log in, you'll hear this little ching, and that's the sound of you making money for passive income. And that's what you want. Because what happens is that interest that you just earned, you start to earn interest on your interest. So your $50,000 becomes that plus the interest, and that plus the interest plus the interest, and that plus the interest plus the interest, and you start to do what's called compounding. And one of the smartest men in the world, Einstein, said one of the most amazing things he ever witnessed was the power of compounding. Einstein said that. The power of compounding. So you take your money, let it make money for you, and then let that money make more money. And so that's how you do that. And so you could sit back in a very short period of time and watch Atom turn 50,000 into God only knows what. But there's a thing called the rule of 7. I won't get into that right now. If you guys want to understand how fast you can rack up money and double your money, look up the rule of 7. That will explain to you how fast you can take 50,000 and turn it into 100,000. All right, so let's get on to something else here. So Atom and XTZ. So XTZ is not my favorite. Atom, of the two, Atom is absolutely my favorite, and there are better than that. But if you're old school and you listen to what I'm saying, good on you, man. You took my advice or my comments to heart, and you're looking good. So no reason to sell. But you late adapters, I don't think I would be jumping on that. So Reef. Now Reef is another one for the longest time. This has been a fan favorite over at the unfairadvantage.chat. We've been talking about this for a long time. My initial, I can't even go back far enough. My initial find on this was the blue line. I brought this when nobody knew what the hell this thing even was. I brought it. I said, guys, I got a line on this thing. I think I'm going to go all in on it, and I did, and it went up 90%. I made a lot of money on this thing, and it came back, and this was a hard sell to get this thing back down to where it's at right now and below my blue line. It was unbelievable. When the rest of the market was getting beat up, this thing would not get down on 2 knees. It would barely go down on 1, but now we are below what I originally paid. Opportunities abound. This is a finance coin. It's not on the X coin level, but it's a finance coin. This thing is going to do crazy numbers. So if you're fans of the show, you already know what I predict, and I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans again. Anubis, which is our AI predicted software, says this thing's going to be doing in less than 60 months, $3.36. Look at the price right now. Let me say it again, $3.36. This thing is going to be a monster when it comes into its own, and it's gaining popularity day after day after day. So if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, sure would love it if you do me a solid and give me a thumbs up and like and subscribe. But what I'd also like you to do is go through my library. We have something called Red Bear Reviews. One of our staff does reviews on coins, and he has done one on Reef, and he really lays out the skinny on what Reef's all about. So you might want to spend some time as soon as you get done listening to me rambling, go and spend some time on my channel and dig around and look up Red Bear Reviews, where we talk about Telcoin. He talks about Telcoin, talks about Reef, talks about a lot of coins. We're filling out a library of full deep dive reviews on all different kinds of coins and stuff. We want you guys to be investors, but we want you to be educated investors, because we're not here to take your money. We're not here to kind of, thanks for the subscription, pat you on the back, and hope it all works out. I have your very best interest at heart. I want to see every single one of you guys not only survive, but I want to see you thrive. No investor left behind. That's our motto. All right. So anyway, as far as Reef goes, if you bought it right now, I wouldn't laugh at you, because it's a fantastic price. 2 cents is a fantastic price, but a pullback is inevitable. Also, we've got multiple tests. So where do you think it's going? Obviously, we have a lot of support. Top of this yellow box is almost certain. Almost certain. So the likelihood that on a pullback will at least settle there. If you want a safe buy, that's it right there. Can't get any easier than that. So from a percentage point, you're only looking at about 17%. Now, this line right here, or this call line, or this note exists for a reason. So if you really want to get out there, I'll tell you what, let me kind of shortcut this. I don't think I would really speculate much lower than that top of that yellow box on Reef, because Reef has a history of just not giving as much back. When the rest of the market is kind of taking a poop, this one's not going to go down as deep. So a 16% drop when everything else is moving 30 smells about right for me, for Reef. So if you want an opportunity to buy Reef, you best be doing it at the top of the yellow box. Not financial advice, of course, for the 20th time. That's the truth, though, is I see about 1.75 being about your best opportunity for that. Don't believe we talked about Theta here. I kind of glanced over Theta here real quick. So Theta, are we taking off? Not really. Not really. The rest of the market's going down. Again, I think we already covered that. I'm sorry, I thought we didn't cover it, but yeah, I don't see this thing blasting off necessarily. I still see a revisit to the blue zone, to the yellow zone, and possibly the blue zone. So they got to fake us out one more time. So let me take a real quick stroll through the list here, make sure there's nothing I don't want to cover. Might want to take a look at that and see what's going on with Cardano. A lot of volatility in this bad boy. So where are we going? Well, I'll tell you what. This one is this one's almost a certainty to be right here. This needs to be readjusted because the AI has moved a little bit. Put that back in Confluence where it belongs here. There we go. There we go. That fits. Okay, so to go from here to here is probably a possibility, because we've got basically we're giving, well, hang on, get the right dang tool here. Hold on. Yeah, that sounds about right. So we're looking at a rounded top, basically an upside down cup and handle. Let's just call it what it is. All right. So you guys know what a cup and handle is. So we don't see inverted cup and handles very often. That's one that would probably sneak right by you if you didn't have an eye for it. You don't do pattern recognition very much. You wouldn't see it, but you can. Now that I've highlighted it, you guys could probably see that, an inverted cup and handle. So this is going to be a lot of bad news for Cardano investors. You're not going to like this too well. As you can see, this is playing out pretty friggin' ugly, guys. So let me show you how this works out. I have to kind of get my... This thing will... When I got this compressed with all the stuff I've got on the screen, it won't let me grab my arrow. Okay, so the way you got to play this, I'm going to play this as conservatively as possible, and to no surprise, I'm hitting that. Okay, so let me explain what I just did here. All right, so a cup and handle. Let's chalk talk this so I can kind of off to the side. A cup and handle, let's call this a cup. All right, so a cup is like this. So you measure the depth, and then, of course, obviously, you take that and you move it to the edge, and then that gives you your call upward. Okay, so inverted cup and handle, same deal, just opposite direction. Now, if we're to believe that this is an inverted cup and handle, this is your velocity from base of cup to the edge, which is right here. This is your velocity. And how we do that is we find the highest point in the handle, or the lowest point if it's upright, and we stick our velocity move right here. Now again, 2 weeks ago, I had this call right here. Look how that beautifully matched that. Perfect, right from pit to point. All right, here we are again. But here's the thing about this. Our old friend, the 50% move, is out there waiting to snag us again. There's already a call waiting at 50%. So here's what I'm telling you. I don't put an awful lot of unless we get into an absolute, oh my God, drop scenario, I don't see 37 to 35 to 36% drop for Cardano. I don't. In a normal pullback scenario. I'm not saying it might not happen, but as we get closer to the third week of October, unlikely. Here's what I would tell you that you can probably roll the dice on. 50% move, pretty darn likely. Within likelihood of about 80 to 85% likelihood, if you guys want to know how strongly I feel about that. And that puts you from here to here about 17 to 18%. From the very tip, 18.5%. Highly likely that could happen. 50% move. I've just seen it so many times that I actually would gamble on that. I actually would. And by gamble, I mean I would put my money on where my mouth is on that. And you would be buying that at, let me see here. You would be buying that at roughly, let's just call it $1.85. So $1.85 Cardano. And that's not too shabby. Some of you guys may not have heard my calls on Cardano. What I'm looking for within the next 60 months, $120, 120 to 125 bucks. So if you're picking this up at $1.85 and I'm telling you 125 bucks, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's not a bad call. Not a bad day at the races. So. Here's another one we haven't talked about for a while. Aave is another one of those that, boy, this just hasn't really been doing a whole hell of a lot. This one's waiting to, it's on a downward slide. Again, kind of an expensive one. I think the days to jump in on this one, I was telling you that, let me move this over here a little bit. I always like to kind of go back on these. This is purple is a theoretical call. These are not calls. Anytime I highlight something in purple, it's theory. It's not an official call. Just kind of like I'm thinking it might do this. I'm just kind of mentally thinking out loud. Some of you guys like to watch me do that. But let me explain something to you here. Not likely to happen in the next 20 days. You've got a huge move from here to here. That's a big velocity. Generally, I don't consider slides like this velocity. I like them to be a little more like this, a little tighter. However, you've got a large move that has to be undone. This is an opening move, has to be closed out somewhere. Now, what could we do with that? We could move it up here, or we could move it down here, and we would do that by grabbing the highest velocity. Isn't it amazing? Look at that. Boom, strike, perfect hit. Right on that red line. There's no randomness to the way these markets move. If you understand and you have the proper tools, you can see this. That was not planned. It's just how that worked out. Now, here's what I will show you is this. That's a outrageously far drop. I'm not going to suggest for a single second that Aave is going to drop from $315 all the way down to $175. I don't see that happening. But what I do see happening is a 50% move. Still a pretty large piece of real estate to cover. But that puts us right on top of our purple, or right in the middle of our purple, which is 22.61%. This is a larger coin. Larger coins are not going to fall as much. They're not going to fall 30%. They're going to fall in the 20s. So there you go, right there. This is highly likely where it's probably going to end up. Might wick down to the dual AI line, which is a 0.1685 Fibonacci line as well, at $220. So I'm suggesting possibly, in an oh shit scenario, the best you're going to get is $220 on Aave, to which I'm normally not a fanboy of paying $220 on a coin. However, if you've got six-figure portfolio, you want to be a little safer, a little saner with your money, Aave is not a bad buy at $220 because what's coming is going to be 4 digits. 4 digits on this thing in the future. This one is a blue chip. Blue, 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 blue. But anyway, 175, I think those days are over. But you're looking at about 200, 220, 215 best case scenario. Safe bet probably between about 220 to 240. Easy. So, all right. A lot of freebies today on the broadcast. Thank you very much for joining me. So again, if you guys have not subscribed, not liked, not joined us over at the unfairadvantage.chat, which is completely free, all you gotta do is just type that into your browser up top. Type the unfairadvantage.chat, hit that. You'll see a subscription invitation from Red Baron. That'd be yours truly. Just like and subscribe to that, and just it'll pop you in, and we'll go ahead and add you to the chat. No charge for that. And if you guys would like to get these charts with my annotations on it, and you'd like to be in my VIP, which is in gold level or up, I do these broadcasts all the time. I do updates daily, 24 hours a day. I don't sleep. I'm like a vampire. And so I'm always on every single day doing upgrades and stuff like that. And you can do that by joining us at fibbycharts.com. Just simply go to the website and go right here to subscribe and just pick yourself a package. We'd love to have you join our family. So until next time, be safe, be good, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.